Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of AndrewsFootball.com, and this video is going to be what are the Oakland Raiders going to do at pick number 24 in the 2019 NFL Draft. Well, if you watched a couple weeks ago, I did the Raiders with the 4th overall pick, and I got a curveball there where I got the Raiders taking Drew Lock, the quarterback out of MU, and I like that pick, and I'm going to stand by it. I'm fully believing that when John Gruden did the Senior Bowl, where Drew Lock had a really good week of practices, played a pretty good game also, that John Gruden really likes this kid and wants to take this kid with the 4th overall pick. Now, keep in mind, when the Raiders traded Khalil Mack, when the Raiders traded Amari Cooper, I didn't see this coming. So am I going to sit here and say, hey, I know exactly what John Gruden's thinking? No, I have no clue what John Gruden's thinking. And if you're watching this, you don't know what John Gruden's wanting to do. You have no clue. We can all agree that with the 4th pick, the 24th pick, and the 27th pick in the NFL Draft, we have no idea what the Oakland Raiders are going to do. We have no clue. But I like Drew Lock at 4, and I'm going to stand by it. But I did this I did this video with Drew Lock going 4th. I did that a couple weeks ago. Since then, they've had a lot of free agent signings. Luke Wilson from Seattle, Tyrell Williams, wide receiver from the Chargers, Trent Brown, the 4-year, $66 million deal. They got the massive, I think he's going to play right tackle, actually. They're giving him almost $39 million guaranteed to play right tackle. So, you know, who knows what the Raiders are thinking. You got LaMarcus Joyner, former Chief Jordan Devey, Jonathan Hankins, the defensive tackle from Detroit, massive defensive tackle, could be the starter. Vontaze Burfict. You know his story. A guy has had multiple run-ins with the NFL. As a matter of fact, the dirty hit on Antonio Brown. And now they're going to play together. Who would have knew? Nevin Lawson, Isaiah Crowell, Brandon Marshall. The one thing about the Raiders is that they are changing this whole roster. So Gruden's building a type of team that he wants. Oh, yeah, did I even mention Antonio Brown yet? No. So the one thing about the Oakland Raiders, if nothing else, or soon to be Las Vegas Raiders, you have no idea what they're doing, but they're making wholesale changes. So when they make their pick at 24, I think we all can agree, anybody who's watching this, we're not really sure what they're going to do. But one thing I do want to say, I'm looking through some free agent news with the Raiders. They only have 2 defensive ends currently under contract. One is Josh Morrow, who has appeared in 59 games, 30 starts. He has 3 sacks. And Arden Key was chosen in the 3rd round, a guy who had 12 sacks his sophomore year at LSU, came back his junior year, had all sorts of issues, but still went to the draft. And he actually flashed at times to be a really good player. But when you have 2 defensive ends under contract and you haven't signed anybody else, my guess is at 24 you're going to look for a defensive end. And so with the 24th pick in 2019 draft, I got the Raiders taking Clyde Farrell, the defensive end out of Clemson. And let me be very clear. He really shouldn't be at 24. I mean, this is a guy who realistically could probably go somewhere in the top 10, maybe realistically somewhere between 10 and 20. Anywhere in that range is a much more likely spot for Clyde Farrell to go ahead and land. I mean, this is a guy now. Some drafts I'd say he's got the ability to be a 3-4 outside linebacker. I don't see that. I think he's a pure 4-3 defensive end. For the Raiders, this is a day 1 starter. This is too good to be true. Matter of fact, if the Raiders really like this guy, I think they trade up. I really, really think that they trade up because you have the draft capital to do so. Now, keep in mind, he gave up a 3rd and a 5th for Antonio Brown. So you have the 3rd pick in the 2nd round, you have a 4th pick, a 5th pick, and then 2 7ths. So even though you don't have a ton of picks, that 27th pick, you could throw that in there. The 3rd pick in the 2nd round, that has a very good draft value. That as a matter of fact, that's $550. So you could take that $550 plus $740, that equals $1,290. That could get you all the way up to 11. All right. So I mean, you know, I don't know if the Denver Broncos would want to trade with the Raiders, but you could be looking at a team that maybe wants to trade down. The Denver Broncos, or I'm sorry, the Cincinnati Bengals the Green Bay Packers, the Miami Dolphins. If they don't take a quarterback in free agency, well, they're probably not going to be there. So whoever trade down 13, they may want to trade down again. The Atlanta Falcons is another one. And I'm not going to read down every single team, but bottom line, I really think that the Oakland Raiders fall in love with this kid and they want to move up a few spots. I do think that's definitely a possibility. And even though they did get rid of a third and a fifth this year, they still have enough trade capital to do so. Plus, they could always package up a deal with the 27th pick and maybe get like a third in return. I don't know. And bottom line, you don't either. Because who has any idea what the Raiders are going to do? All they know is that they're revamping their roster, and they're going to be a very fun team to watch when the draft day comes around. So I'm really excited about it. But I'm going to stand by this. I like the Raiders at number 4. Take Drew Lock. And then my mock draft, the way it works, Clyde Farrell is a perfect fit. Because this is a plug-and-play guy. This is a guy that will be a day-one starter, and he'll have a huge impact with the Oakland Raiders. So somebody who's a Chiefs fan, I'm looking at the Raiders, I'm like, oh, no, this doesn't look good. But one thing I do want to say is that what do you do with Derek Carr? Well, the one thing I will say about John Gruden is that he's not concerned with hurting Derek Carr's feelings. If I know nothing else about John Gruden, I know he's not concerned with Derek Carr's feelings. So here's what I think they're going to do. I think they trade Drew Lock at 4. Derek Carr is going to be the starter. And they're going to give him every opportunity to succeed because in 2020, they want to trade him for maybe a number 1. You never know what you can get. Now, quarterbacks get injured all the time. Remember Ryan Tannehill 2 years ago, he got injured in preseason. All right, 2 years ago, Deshaun Watson got injured during practice. It wasn't even a game. So could Derek Carr be gone before the season starts? Absolutely, that's a possibility. But I think what they're going to do, now keep in mind, him and Andy Reid coached together for a long time. They're very good friends. Did you watch what happened in Kansas City? They took a quarterback in the first round, sat the whole year, started next year and became NFL MVP. I think that's what they're wanting to do with Drew Lock. So what you do at 24 is you improve the team today, and that's where I say Clyde Farrell. And keep in mind, even though I love this pick, I love this fit, there's no way Clyde Farrell really should be available at 24. He's too good of a player. But the way I got my mock draft going, he's going to be available, and he's going to be a day 1 starter. So this is an excellent pick for the Oakland Raiders. So if you are a subscriber to Andrews Football, you already know you're one of the greatest people on planet Earth. All your wildest dreams will come true. But if you're new to Andrews Football, you're an Oakland Raiders fan, you're a fan of NFL mock drafts, you love the draft, or you're a fan of awesome hats, there's this little button right down here. Check this out. It's a little red and white button. And bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. Wait till tomorrow where I break down the 25th pick in the NFL draft. I'll see you tomorrow.